A man in a $5,000 suit asked me for directions to the subway last week. Not an Uber, the subway. And that's when it hit me. Everything you think you know about what rich looks like is wrong. We've been trained by movies and Instagram to spot wealth the wrong way. Watches, logos, loud cars that announce themselves from 2 blocks away. But the people actually building generational wealth right now, the ones quietly compounding their way into the top 1%, don't look anything like that. They look almost invisible, and that's exactly the point. By the end of this video, you're going to see money differently. You're going to walk into a room and know instantly who's actually building generational wealth and who's just performing it for an audience that was never paying attention in the first place. There are two things about the new wealth class that almost nobody talks about. One involves what these people refuse to buy, and the other involves a decision they make before 7 in the morning that most people never even consider. This isn't about your salary. It isn't about a side hustle or a stock tip or a passive income scheme you saw in an ad at midnight. It's about a mindset shift that happens quietly, long before the bank account catches up. I'll get to both of those hidden signs, but first, let's talk about the suit and the subway. Because that man wasn't confused, he was choosing, and that choice is sign number one. The old wealth class spent to prove they'd arrived. The new wealth class spends like they're still climbing, even when they're not. There's a name for this shift. Economists sometimes call it stealth wealth, and it's showing up everywhere from Palo Alto to small towns in Ohio. A friend of mine, David, runs a mid-sized logistics company, net worth north of $11 million. He drives a used Honda Accord with a cracked side mirror he's never bothered to fix. When I asked him why, he laughed and said the mirror still shows him exactly what's behind him, so what's the problem? That line stuck with me for weeks. People who are actually wealthy stop needing the car to talk for them. Their bank account does the talking, quietly, where only they can hear it. Sign number two is harder to spot, and it lives inside a single word: optionality. The newly wealthy don't chase bigger houses. They chase fewer obligations. Ask a broke person what they'd do with an extra $10,000 and they'll describe a thing: a vacation, a truck, a kitchen remodel. Ask someone in the new wealth class the same question, and they'll describe a feeling: breathing room, freedom, the ability to say no to a job they hate. That difference isn't semantic, it's structural. It's the entire architecture of how these people think about every dollar that enters their life. I once watched two people react to the exact same bonus: $20,000, same company, same year. One financed a truck. The other paid off a car loan early and quietly asked HR about switching to a 4-day week. Same money. Completely different definition of rich. One bought a thing, the other bought back a Tuesday. Here's where it gets uncomfortable because sign 3 is going to sound harsh, but stay with me. The new wealth class is deeply, almost obsessively boring on purpose. Boring investments, boring routines, boring Tuesday nights. There's a reason for that, and it's not that these people lack imagination. It's that excitement is expensive and they've figured out how to get their dopamine somewhere else. From progress, not purchases. Bill Perkins wrote about this idea in his book, Die with Zero. This notion that time and health are actually the scarcest currencies we have, more scarce than money itself, and that the truly wealthy learn to spend their finite years on experiences and relationships rather than accumulating more stuff they'll never use. The people I know who are quietly rich have already internalized this. They're not chasing thrill, they're chasing years. Now let's talk about mornings, because sign 4 might be the one that changes how you see your own life today. Wealthy people don't wake up early because some influencer told them to. They wake up early because mornings are the only hours of the day nobody else has already claimed. No emails, no kids yelling, no boss pinging Slack at 7:15. My cousin Rahul, before he built his consulting firm, used to wake at 5 just to think, not even to work, just to sit with a cup of coffee and let his brain catch up with his life. He told me once that broke people protect their evenings and rich people protect their mornings. I've never forgotten that. It reframed the entire concept of a productive person for me. Most of us guard the one part of the day that drains us and leave the one part that could actually build something wide open for whoever wants it first. If you're catching the pattern here, drop a comment with which sign hit you the hardest so far, because we're only halfway there, and the next ones get sharper. Sign 5 lives in how these people talk about failure, not with shame, almost with affection. Ask someone in the new wealth class about a business that collapsed or an investment that went to zero, and watch their face. There's no flinch. There's a small, knowing smile, like they're describing an old friend who taught them something expensive. Compare that to how most people talk about a financial mistake. Hushed, defensive, buried. The wealthy treat losses as tuition. Everyone else treats them as verdicts. I know a man who lost close to $200,000 on a restaurant that never made it past year one. He brings it up at dinner parties now, unprompted, like it's a fishing story. Not because he's over it, because he mined it. He knows exactly what it taught him about cash flow, and that knowledge has quietly paid for itself several times since. Sign 6 is subtler still, and it's about who they surround themselves with. The new wealth class curates relationships the way a museum curates art. Deliberately, patiently, with real cost attached to keeping the wrong pieces around. They'll end a decade-long friendship faster than they'll cancel a good business meeting, not out of cruelty, but because they understand something most of us avoid admitting. The 5 people around you set an invisible ceiling on your income, your habits, your standards, your entire trajectory. There's real research behind this too. Sociologists studying social capital have repeatedly found that upward financial mobility correlates more strongly with the economic diversity of someone's friend circle than with their raw talent or effort. Talent gets you noticed. Circle gets you funded. Look at your last 5 conversations about money. Were they about a raise you're chasing or a business someone in your circle is actually building? That single question tells you more about your financial future than any budgeting app ever will. Here's your reward for staying this long, because sign 7 is the one that surprises almost everyone. The new wealth class pays for time before they pay for status. A cleaning service before a car upgrade. A virtual assistant before a vacation home. Because every hour they buy back gets reinvested into the thing that actually compounds their attention. Broke thinking treats time as free because it feels unlimited. Rich thinking treats time as the only truly non-renewable resource any of us have and prices it accordingly. You can always make another dollar. You cannot make another Tuesday afternoon, and the new wealth class has quietly stopped pretending otherwise. Now, sign 8 is going to feel like a contradiction, so let me set it up properly. Despite everything I just told you about boring routines and disciplined mornings, the wealthiest people I know are also the ones most willing to look completely ridiculous in public. They pitch the weird idea. They take the meeting nobody thinks will go anywhere. They ask the question that makes the room go quiet. Because somewhere along the way, they made peace with a trade most people never make. Trading the comfort of looking smart for the compounding value of actually learning something. Ego is expensive. The new wealth class simply refuses to keep paying for it. There's a version of this most of us have lived through in reverse, sitting silent in a meeting, letting a bad idea win because speaking up felt riskier than staying comfortable. The people building real net worth stopped making that trade years ago. They'd rather be the person who asked the obvious question and got the answer than the person who stayed quiet and stayed exactly where they started. And this is where everything flips. Because here's the pivot nobody warns you about. All of this, the stealth spending, the boring routines, the early mornings, the curated circles, none of it was ever really about the money. It was about identity. The moment these people stopped needing money to prove something to a room, the money started arriving faster, almost like it could finally relax too. That's sign 9, and it's the one that took me the longest to actually believe. Chasing wealth to prove you're not broke keeps you tethered to broke thinking forever, even with millions in the bank. Building wealth because you've already decided who you are. That's when the compounding actually starts. It sounds almost too simple to be true, and for years I didn't believe it either. I thought identity was the reward at the end of the journey, something you earned after the millionaire mindset kicked in and the numbers finally lined up. It's actually the entry fee. Entry. You don't think your way into wealth after you have it. You think your way in first, and the money is just evidence arriving late, confirming a decision you already made. Which brings us to the last sign, the quiet one. The one nobody posts about. Sign 10 is peace at 11 p.m. Not excitement, not adrenaline. Just a kind of settled, boring peace, lying in bed with nothing gnawing at the back of your mind. Every broke phase of my life had one thing in common: a low, constant hum of financial anxiety I'd mistaken for normal, for just how adulthood felt. The people who've actually crossed into the new wealth class don't talk about the hum anymore. It just isn't there. That silence, more than any number in a bank account, is the actual finish line. So if you click this at 2 in the morning, trying to figure out if you're on the path or still circling it, you probably already know the answer, and that's okay. Every sign on this list was learnable. None of it required luck, and none of it required a trust fund or a head start most of us never got. It required a decision, made quietly, probably today, that you're done performing wealth and ready to start building it. Not the loud kind, not the kind with a logo on it, the kind that lets you sleep at 11 p.m. with nothing gnawing at the back of your mind. The kind nobody else ever has to see for you to know, without doubt, that it's real. If this reframed something for you, subscribe and tell me in the comments which sign you're already living, because that's usually the first one that's true.